and strength. Your confidence levels can still reach higher levels. So the main agenda of this webinar is to level up our influence by rediscovering the real you. I, Vaishali Nathwani, would like to introduce today's guest speaker, Tony Miranda from Philippines. She helps to future-proof leaders by strengthening their impact and influence, improve business relationships, and increase productivity through professional soft skills development programs. She is a world certified image strategist, executive coach, and transformational speaker with over 20 years of experience in the corporate world and retail industry. She currently holds an international certification of Certified Image Consultant from the Association of Image Consultants International. She is also a certified points of view practitioner in the Philippines and a Hagai International leader. It's a privilege to welcome you, ma'am, and you can start with the session.
Good morning to everyone. Good afternoon to all of you in my time. So it is an honor to be your guest speaker and your trainer to talk about leveling up your influence only when you rediscover yourself. Okay, so I'm very excited to actually see all of you joining this webinar. And one thing that I can tell you about this 1 hour that you will spend here is it's time to rediscover yourself. It's time to understand what's causing you to become influential or what's stopping you from becoming influential. Now, before I begin and before I even share my presentation with you, who among you here wants to achieve a goal wherein you are in a state of being influential? Who among you? Can you share with us here in our chat? Because when I was younger, being influential is something that I'm not aspiring. It's something that I'm not even thinking about. When I was younger, I just wanted to achieve my dreams. So if you can see here, this was me when I was 2 years old. When I was younger, I'm sure some of you with the same generation will understand why my picture is actually black and white, right? So who among you reached this stage that your baby photos or when you were 2 or 3 years old, your photos are actually in black and white. So more or less, you will know my generation. When I was younger, my dream is just to become a beauty queen and a professional international speaker. So when I told my parents, my aunties, and even my grandparents that it was my dream, when they heard about the beauty queen, all of them were bragging about it. Of course, my dear, because we are in a family of beautiful people, we are intelligent, everyone seems to be proud of my dream. But when I told them that I wanted to become a global speaker, they started to laugh at it. They started to even have fun out of it. They said, okay, what kind of speaker? Speaker of the car? Speaker of our TV? Or the speaker that we see out there? Because when I was younger, the size of the speaker is quite big. It's, I'm sure some of you can relate. It's very big. The ones that attach in the TV and our radio. So I got confused. Is our dream supposed to be shared? Are we supposed to aspire for it? Or is it supposed to be kept as a secret? So I'd like to invite you to go to another browser. If you can, please go to menti.com. Okay, menti.com and code there the 3653596. 3653596. So let me just go there also so that somehow we will all be on the same page. Let's go here. There. So let's try to go here to menti.com and just try to participate. What is your dream in one word? What is your dream in one word? For example, in my case, I shared with you beauty queen, right? Or a professional speaker. How about you? What is your dream in one word? Come on, share with us. So we know somehow, all of us, when we were younger, we were already having a dream. We are aspiring to become someone. Okay, so may I invite you to use your browser. Just go to menti.com. And there, yeah, very nice. One of you was dreaming to be a good person. How about the others? So just go to menti.com and use the code 3653696. No space in between. And in our country, we always have this, we call it the pageant for children. They call it the Little Miss Philippines. And this is the famous question: what do you want to become? Or what is your dream? So, how about the others? Let's just visit menti.com and use the code 3653696. 3653696. And just describe your dream in, yeah, in one word. I'm sure many of you have been sharing this to your friends, and later we will go back to it. All right. Okay. So thanks for that one person who, or participant who joined us in at least sharing what was their dream when they were younger. Okay. I'm here to talk about the, how to level up your influence by rediscovering yourself. Because it is very important that we start from the root cause of everything. Okay? We start from the root cause of everything. Now, of all these things happening around us from last year up to this moment, which one is you? Are you those people who are tired of everything that's happening around them, the news and so on? Or are you this one person who's trying to cope, trying to put their heads up, showing that they are confident and they can still survive whatever is happening, whether good news or bad news? They're just up there trying to cope. Which one is you? Or maybe this is you. You're just you're losing the emotion already, because sometimes you see good news, sometimes everything is not so good news, or because of so many things happening online, you just have this fake facade that, oh yeah, I'm excited. Which one is you? You see, where you are now and who you are now is the result of your choices months ago, or probably the choice this morning, whether you're gonna join this webinar or not, or the result of your choice 5 years ago. Because inside this webinar, inside this classroom or online seminar, we only have two kinds of people. And answer this in your heart: which one is you? One who has extraordinary confidence, and the other one who has temporary confidence. I didn't know this before. I thought my confidence is enough. I didn't know that there's such thing as temporary or fake confidence, and there's another thing called extraordinary confidence. My question is, which one is you? What kind of confidence are you carrying? When you want to become influential, we need the basic ingredient, which is being confident. However, we learn confidence in different ways. And the sad thing is, sometimes we have a distorted view of confidence. What do I mean by that? I'd like you to know this TMS model. TMS model. So what does T stand for? T are the developed thoughts, the thoughts that you gained since childhood. These are your dreams, the beliefs that you copied or you acquired and eventually are holding on to. The mindset that you develop since childhood. And what is M? These are the motivation. Okay, depending on the thoughts that you have there, depending on the mindset that you develop, you either seek, SEEK, seek motivation, or C, SEE, see motivation. What do I mean by that? If you have the wrong thought patterns, if you have the wrong mindset, you always try to look and seek for motivation amongst each other. So when it's not being met, you get frustrated with your classmates, with your teachers, or with your family members. But when you have the right perspective, the right mindset, and the right set of beliefs and everything running there in your mind or in your thoughts, you now see everything as a motivation, whether they are offending you or not, whether you're hearing good news or not. Everything seems to be motivating you. You now understand your purpose, your energy, you have the drive to just survive every day, and the desires of your heart are emanating properly. So, why do we need the S, the system? What's the use of the thoughts, the right mindset, and the right motivation if you are not able to duplicate it? If there is no system, the influential leaders and the right one, meaning not the pretended influential leaders, have the correct system. They apply the right method, the right process, and this model can be taught to another person, to your child, to your students, to your protege, and they can duplicate you. That's the type of leader whom we call influential. Because when these intersect, when you have the right thoughts or mindset, when it intersects with the motivation, you actually get inspired. So even this, we do not interchange. Sometimes we say, oh, I'm so inspired. Well, actually, you are just motivated. But if your motivation intersects with the right mindset, there you will be inspired, right? And that's the time we follow people who are inspiring and so on. So what's the use of your motivation if you're not able to create a system on how to apply it, on how to execute it? So when your motivation now intersects with a system, tried and tested system, we now call it execution. Whatever you learn, you're able to do it because the teacher was able to tell you how to do it. And the system is very clear that to the point that no matter who is listening, no matter who is learning, they can do it and pass it on because it's a system. Now, the intersection of your thoughts or the correct mindset with the system are now the ideation, your ideas. You can talk about it in interview. You can teach it. You can even do many things about it. You can repurpose it. You can create a book. You can create a method, a teaching method, or even a blog and a podcast out of it. Why? Because you have a system. Now, why do we need all those things? Because somehow your view of influential leadership and confidence got distorted. The reason why we're not open to any system, the reason why no matter how many speakers you listen to, is just not getting through your heart is because your view of influential leadership and confidence got distorted. What do I mean by that? And what distorted your view of it? Let's find out. Let's just go back to memory lane. When you were younger, we have been hearing repetitive words, right? We have been hearing repetitive words. What are the examples of that? Maybe like that. You are so fat. You should be an honor student like me. No one is useless in the family. Why are you ugly? Do not listen to others. Or you need to be rich. You need to work hard. You need to take us out of this poor situation. Do not be a loser. So at the moment while you are listening to me, may I request you to just try to recall. And sometimes it's okay if you say, I can't remember anything. It's also normal. Okay. It's also normal because we don't actually recall everything from childhood every day, right? But now just try anything. Am I hearing repetitive words when I was younger? Normally, these are the words that you hear from your from your parents, from your relatives, or even friends, but mostly elder than you. Okay? So what are these repetitive words? They can also actually be good, huh? Not always the bad ones. For example, you have to make sure that you're always on time. You have to make sure but as long as it's repetitive, just write it down. If you want to participate. Okay? What other factors distorted your view of influential leadership and, of course, your confidence? It's your childhood experience, right? It's your childhood experience. Many of us grew up in a dysfunctional nature of family. And I won't even say it's bad. It's just that we have different experiences. What do I mean by that? Some of us, our parents are always busy. Some of us, we grew up in a very large family wherein you get no attention, you get no affirmation, no validation. They don't have time for you because everyone is like busy working for your future, they say, right? What else? Maybe you have witnessed loving parents or otherwise. Maybe you have witnessed parents who are always fighting and abuse. Then how come this is connected to your view of influential leadership and confidence? Because depending on how you were treated when you were younger, some families do not give importance to confidence. Some families don't even talk about influential leadership. And sadly, some families, they do not model it well. They model authoritative. They model that you should not be they should not listen to you. They model that you should work young when you were younger. We actually have different situations. So I'd like you to recall, how was your childhood experience? Could it be that your experience when you were younger actually affected your view of influential leadership and confidence? Now, how were you treated when you were younger? Have you been always compared? What do I mean by that? Are these the statements that you hear? Your sister is better than you. Why are you not as good as me? Like, for example, I'm the best in the insurance industry, or I'm the best in the engineering industry. Or simple statements like, your classmate is better than he is. No, he is more intelligent than you. Why are you like that? Why can't you recite? So what are these ways of comparison that you experienced before? It can also be like this. You look at the neighbor and you hear your parents say, oh, look at them. They have been attending all the festivals. Oh, look at them. They have so many properties. They have so many cars. So now you witness your own parents comparing your family to another family. Or it can be like this. You know what? He is my best friend or she is my best friend. And look, they have so many houses. They travel a lot. How come we are poor? So you hear that. I'm not saying that these are bad. We're just trying to observe. How was your childhood? Because all these things, some of us may have copied, or some of us may have internally hated. I didn't like that being compared. I didn't like that being our family always looking at the other, always envious, and always wanting to have what they have. Okay? Next is our environment. Some of us grew up in a very conservative environment. So it's normal, right? You thought it's normal until you came to probably college, or you started working in companies wherein your being conservative is now being ridiculed. How come you're not aggressive? How come you're not confident? Or some of us grew up in a very confident environment wherein you are now boasting, you are now shouting. It really depends. However, we thought it was normal, right? When we were younger, we thought, oh, I thought it's normal to boast. I thought it's normal to be just quiet. I thought it's normal to speak out even if I'm a woman. It really depends. But what I'm telling you here, these are the simple four factors that may have affected your view of knowing the real you. You have forgotten that this is the authentic you have kept quiet, or maybe some people have defined who you are rather than made you remember who you really are. Because we really have different childhood experience. Do you agree? We really have different childhood experience. Now, this is the model that I have been using in all my platforms based on all the studies and research as well as my personal experience. What do I mean? We start with the self evaluation. We need to understand everything. We cannot drop our past. We cannot drop the influences that the people who has influenced us, the beliefs that we embraced, or the things that have distorted our view of everything, our view of yourself, your identity, your leadership, your influence, and even confidence. So we need to be aware first about us, right? Who affected everything, who affected the thoughts in our mind, who are motivating us, and what systems are we using, or maybe none. Then, once we are aware, we need to admit if indeed some have been distorted or not, or if you are at the right place, if you have the right mindset, and so on. And then we need to do some action about it. So, what are these things? We need to be aware about the wrong mindset, about your secrets that you now believe to be not a secret, but actually, when you were growing up, you have been keeping secrets a lot, right? Well, not for all, but for some reason, some good reasons, they're just unexpected or unspoken words, unspoken pains. You just keep them on secret. You need to be aware of your fears, your challenges, and of course, you need to be aware of your identity, your the truth that you believe in. What you know about image, is it important? Is the appearance, behavior, communication important? Are relationships important? Do you have an empowered life? And so on. Then, after knowing everything, which I'm sure some of you are aware already, we need to admit. We need to admit about what we think about our creator, our secrets, about your identity, and so on. And of course, we need to put everything to action. Some of us have been attending a lot of webinars and classes, but they never put them to action. It's just piling up until sometimes you are already confused. You're always excited. Oh, yeah, I want to be like that. Oh, yes, I want to be like her. Without really going to the basic first of who you are. What's your identity? What are the wrong mindsets? And so on. Awareness. Discover what distorted your view. Let's just have a short lesson about this. Let's start with your awareness. Discover what distorted your confidence. So first are the formula of Vine, valuable truth. So in letter V, we called it the valuable truth. Okay? Discover. Try to check what affected your view of your self-worth and identity. Who dictated it? Who defined it? It's very important that you understand where everything came from. Is it from the valuable truth or from the deceived truth? Our habitat. What is your view of our habitat? You know, fish, anything that lives in the sea. Okay? The natural habitat of these creatures, the sea creatures, are in the sea, right? So when you put the fish for a number of hours in the land, you just put them there in the land. What will happen to the fish? Will they still live? Maybe after 2 days, 3 days? I believe they will die, right? Because the natural habitat of the fish is in the sea. Now, anything that is in, that lives in the air and land, maybe the bird and land, maybe, let's talk about dog. If we put them, since their natural habitat is in the land, and if you put these two creatures deep down there, let's say 100 feet below the sea, 100 meters, 10 meters, and so on, what will happen to our dog? We soak them deep under the sea for months. It will actually die. For a while, it can swim, right? But down deep there, maybe they will die. Why? Because the natural habitat is the land, right? Wherein they can breathe. As humans, this is actually just what I believe in, and I'm not even imposing you to believe in this. Let me just ask everyone to open our mind and open our heart. I believe, me as a human being, My natural habitat is God, which means if I detach myself from Him, I may eventually spiritually die. Now, let's go to our uniqueness. Remember the principles that I have presented earlier when you are being compared, when you hear repetitive words. Those are the things that distorted our view because it has taken us away from the very truth that we are unique. Yeah, it's true. Even your classmates now, your co teachers, your colleague in the company, you cannot be compared because your talent is different from my talent. Her talent is different from his talent. So even if both of you are teachers, even if both of you are in the accounting department, even if both of you are honor students, right? You cannot be compared by numbers or even subjects. Why? Your talent is different from her talent. His talent is different from his talent. Another teacher's talent is different from somebody else's talent. So that is a reason enough why you should not be offended when someone compares you. Rather than being hurt about it, trying to get even with that person who have offended you, just stick to the belief and mindset that, okay, that's your opinion, but I believe I'm still unique, right? So you have the freedom, you have all the freedom to compare me, but I will make sure that I will still believe I am unique in any way. So that's our valuable truth. Try to recall and identify who defined your self-worth and identity, what is the nature of your habitat, and embrace that you are unique. We have there I have not seen even in twins, right? That they are exactly the same. Something is still unique about you, and that is very special. All right? Next, in our vine is our image. Depending on how you grew up when you were younger, we have different views and image. And what people don't understand, or what many leaders don't understand, is that our image speaks louder than our knowledge, our words, and so on. Why? Because it communicates ahead of what we are supposed to say. It communicates ahead of what we are supposed to say. Our image is not just appearance. It's actually our ABC, our appearance, behavior, and our communication. My question is, are you mindful of your appearance? Are you aware or are you conscious if your image, even if it's online or offline, if it's inspiring? Because in reality, we do not see ourselves in the mirror every day. Meaning, only when you actually go in front of the mirror. But every day, who actually sees you? Who sees you? Is it you? No, it's the person in front of you, online or offline. It's your husband, it's your father, mother, sister, friend, student, teacher. So, are you inspiring them with your image or are you irritating them with your image? Is your Do you know that when we are not well groomed, okay, when we are not conscious about the small details in our appearance, it talks about how you are able to deliver what you have promised. Example, if you cannot even shine your shoes, or if you cannot even brush your teeth and fix your hair, what are you trying to tell the other person in front of you? I cannot take care of my project. I won't be able to deliver the contract. I won't be able to give good quality service that I have committed. You know why? Because even myself, I cannot even take care of my grooming. So I send out a message that I cannot also take care of my responsibilities. Are you getting it now? Your image sends out a louder message ahead of what you are supposed to say, whether it's a business proposal and whether it's a school project. Your image speaks louder than everything. Behavior. We can learn it, right? In fact, at home, it's supposed to be taught. It's just that how come companies are still getting people like us, image consultant, to teach etiquette, to teach manners, to teach anything about behavior? Because we grew up, the same principle that I taught you earlier. We grew up in different childhood or with different childhood experiences, different environment, different way of upbringing. Therefore, some of us thought that a certain behavior is normal, but for others, that kind of behavior is offending. It's loud, it's not respectful. So the Image Consultant Association, and you will find actually a lot, not only hundreds, but thousands of books and even curriculums that will teach you protocol, international etiquette, dining etiquette, and so on. Because etiquette is actually about respect. So why do we need to teach table position, handshaking, or what kind of vow and greeting should we, which eye do we look at, what kind of posture? It boils down to the very purpose of we wanted to show respect. Okay? Next is our communication. So again, I said your image speaks louder and speaks ahead of the real message that you're about to say, which includes your non-verbal communication, your body language, your eye contact. Is your head tilting when you are speaking? Is your facial expression aligned to your statement, to your message? And all this, even our presentation skills, everything contributes to your view or distorted view of confidence and leadership influence. Let's talk about N. Our formula is VINE. Remember, V is valuable truth, I is letter I is image, and then N is about your relationship. One part of the valuable truth that I embraced is that no man, no man is an island, and we have been receiving and hearing that truth, right? But sometimes we choose to be alone. We choose to carry our success alone. We choose to create a project alone. We choose to just discover everything alone. And we choose to win alone. However, when I realized and embraced the truth that actually we were not created to be alone, we were created to be in a relationship. To be in a relationship with your creator, with your family members, with your colleagues, with your teammate. It's just that we need to be in a relationship. We learn together, right? We learn together. We carry each other's burden. We discover things together. If your attitude is always in the competition attitude, competition, it's okay as long as it's a healthy competition, because nowadays, influential leaders and the real ones, the real influential leaders, they do not compete, but they collaborate. To survive a business, yes, it's correct that we find ways on how to professionally compete, and that's okay because each company has their USP, unique selling proposition. But we have seen in history which companies thrived during pandemic, regardless of pandemic. And these are the company who has been collaborating for so many years already. And these are the likes of me also, professional speakers, image consultant, and transformational coach. We will not survive if we do it alone. We collaborate, right? We also speak in other countries. We have association. We have the Global Speakers Federation. And we invite also any one of you, because as long as you have a topic, as you have an expertise, you can talk about it, right? So what about this nurturing? No one is designed to live alone. We have to balance both the physical and the virtual. Even if we have been doing virtual for months already, we still need to talk to our family members. We still need to have that listening ear to a phone call. And we still need to reach out to our customers, to our classmates and teachers. And knowing this, we need to have accountability partners. We need to be in a group, support group, or we call it care group. It depends. It varies depending on your department or your expertise. The last thing is something that I have been ignoring before. I thought what I know is enough. But according to a very good writer and coach as well, John Maxwell, he said, beyond your best, there's more, which means there's no perfection. We pursue growth, but we never pursue perfection. And that is one big distorted view that many has been trapped in. They have been trying to achieve perfection, but what we need to actually achieve and pursue is just growth. And when you are pursuing growth, we need a mentor. We need someone to guide us who has been there so you will not waste time. Right? So we will not waste time because these people who has been successful already, they already have a system and they just teach. They just teach you. They just teach me. And that's how I was able to turn around my life in just 4 years, achieving what I have been trying to achieve since younger. Remember, I wanted to be a global speaker, but I've tried so many things. I've hurt people and I've hurt myself only to find out I can get a mentor, right? And I did. I did not only just get one, I got a lot. Understanding now that it is important that someone is telling me this is right and wrong. What you're doing will just waste your time. And it's still my choice to follow or not. It's still your choice to follow or not, or even embrace and even give time to what I'm telling you now. Next is empowered life. You can actually Google what it means, right? We can find it in a dictionary. But only those who have experienced it can smile and can be confident enough to tell you, I know what an empowered life means and I know how to have an empowered life. Because like them, I have seen the difference of a fake empowered life just to declare it, just to look good, feel good. And I know how it feels to have the authentic empowered life. Because an empowered life means living an authentic life. You're not afraid to stand by your faith and you are not afraid to talk about the truth about your past, the truth about a principle, the truth of anything that you have discovered to be embraced, should be done. Because sometimes we embrace truth that will make you famous to the point that you want to compromise with others. But it's not living an empowered life. It's actually living a dual life, right? You are trying to please people and going away and embracing that distorted view. All right, so that's more or less how you develop the extraordinary confidence. And these are actually the steps that will help you rediscover yourself. So, how about the admission? What do we need to admit? It's simple. Do you have secrets? It's only now that I can smile and laugh about the word secret. But before, it hits my heart. It's so difficult when someone, do you have secret? I literally stop and avoid. Why? Because I do. I have a lot of secrets. I had a lot of secret feelings. I have frustrations, unforgiveness, resentment, fears, pride, regrets. I have immoral relationships. I have controlling nature. I have so much anger. I've been lying because I want to please people. I don't want to offend them. I have so much pride. And sadly, those have imprisoned me. Those have imprisoned it has robbed me of my freedom. How about you? How about you? Do you need to admit that this is not the time to put yourself in the prison of all those things? We need to admit, actually, that you need to bind them, all those things causing our crazy cycle lifestyle, and just leave them inside the jail. You need to be freed from everything. We need to admit that we have to shift. We need to have a paradigm shift to correct our mindset, to embrace the truth. And that's the bright road, no? That's the bright side. Because when you are living a dual life, when you have so many pretensions and secrets, you're always like checking if what you will say, if how they will react, will hamper your growth or dreams, right? And it's not a peaceful life and it's not authentic. We need to admit your secrets and offenses. We need to admit that we have no power. Okay? Whatever you are believing in, please know the basic principle. You can only control what you can control. And beyond it, you should not even try because it will exhaust you, it will hurt you, and it will hurt the people around you. Whatever you are believing in, just surrender. For example, okay, based on your talent, based on what you will want to admit. For example, I'm sorry, I was not really feeling well, or I got offended when you said that I have not been a good teacher to you, and you have posted that in social media and so on. Okay, the good thing about it that you can only control is you express the truth, right? Instead of gossiping about it, you spoke straight to that person. But the reaction of that person is something you cannot control. So you lift it up to your creator because you know you cannot control. But the good news here is your heart is at peace that you're able to express it. You're not anymore thinking about how they will react, why they will be surprised. How come you said it directly? No more. It's not within your control. Okay? Then understand also that you have every right to choose the lifetime of good or a lifestyle of good. You have the right to choose the right path. You don't need to always compromise. You don't need to always pretend, right? Because we have the free will of choice to put to be aware of everything, to discover the truth about you, to go back to your childhood. You have the choice to actually admit also, right? You don't need to keep it to yourself. My question is, are you willing to put it to action? Are you willing to create a system? So it's easy. Can you see the yellow dots? Those are the small habits every day. Habits, HABITS. What are your habits? Do you wake up every day? Do you exercise? Do you practice to speak depending on your goal and dream? Do you practice to listen? Do you practice to actually talk to a family member no matter how difficult you just try? Do you practice to cooperate? Let's say you have a team, okay? Because these small choices that you make every moment, you don't see yet the direction. For example, you wanted to lose weight, so you eat healthy food. You wanted to avoid certain food there in your country that you know you may not be good for your health. We don't see it in a week's time or 2 weeks' time that you are actually losing weight, right? But someday, maybe a month or two, it will definitely reach a threshold that you will either be happy or regret. Again, the small choices that you are choosing, creating, and making will not give you immediate results. However, there will come a time that you will reach a threshold that you will either be happy or cry or regret. So if it's upward, then you will say it's a proven system, right? It's a good choice. I'm happy I sacrificed for it. I'm happy I slept early every day. I'm happy I respected and honored my parents. Those are the stuff. But suddenly, when you have been splurging, spending a lot, and so on, and now pandemic came, all credit cards are now calling you. It reached a threshold that you are now regretting. I shouldn't have spent that much, and that's it. It's either too late or you regret it already. We have to visualize. We need a vision. We need to have a roadmap. We need to have a plan. But you don't create a goal without a vision. Set your personal vision first before a goal. Okay? And do not underestimate the power of personal development. Sometimes we focus on technical skills, but if you will research, it has been proven and there has been a lot of research that soft skills development contribute to 85% of your business success or your personal success. So let's start practicing how to speak. Let's start practicing how to hone our emotional intelligence. Let's start to improve our relational, our everything, connections, and so on. Because at the end of the day, all businesses, I believe, is still about human connection. Even if you are in the IT, we still communicate, right? So when you can only future proof yourself when your soft skills is well developed, is learned, and so on. So again, I keep on presenting to you our extraordinary confidence model because actually it's not easy if your heart and mind is not open to the idea that we need to improve. We need to keep on growing. We need to keep on learning. And we need to embrace our past, right? We need to embrace and learn and understand what happened in the past. We cannot just drop it. Why? Because everyone deserves the good. That's why we've changed for the better. That's why we are choosing to change for the better. The question always before when I have become a bank manager at the age of 26, and I felt that time I was very young to become a manager, is am I the right leader to make it happen? Because you see, influential leadership happens when you look at the right lens, when you have the right perspective. Actually, again, in this webinar, we only have two kinds of leaders: one who has influential leadership, or the other one who has actually the temporary type of influence. They claim that yes, I may be influential because I have 30,000 or 100,000 followers. My question is, are you able to duplicate yourself? Because real influence, a real influential person or leader can duplicate. It is not what you do. It is not what we do that determines who you are as a leader. It is who we are that determines what we do. Sometimes we brag so much about what we have accomplished, but it is actually who we are that determines what we will do, including who we were in the past. Because some of us focus on academics. They just focus on enrolling, upgrading without really experiencing life. It's all theories. Nothing is being applied. Or some of us naman, we just focus on just life experiences. We don't bother or even invest in learning. We don't want to upgrade ourselves. But what everyone, and I encourage all of you, I want to inspire all of you, become an expert. Balance your time, energy, and resources. Balancing both the theories that you are learning, your academics, and life experience. Experience life. Make friends, join associations, contribute. Let's not live a life where we are just getting everything, right? Let's contribute our value. The very fact that you are unique, your contribution is needed because maybe you have the same ideas as the other one, but you have a unique approach because you have a unique talent, right? Next is, I'm going to ask you, this is you, right? I want you to just maybe write in your notes or a reminder in your cell phone which one you need to improve. Do you need to experience life because you have been doing a lot of academic improvement, learning, or you need to somehow enroll and be certified on something because you lack the academic side? It's really a decision and choice. Because most of the time we focus on this one. We attend a lot of leadership skills, selling skills, all the kinds of selling or the skills we needed for a profession or at least in our status now. What are we are missing out are the left and the right. How? How to do it? And if we do not know the how and you just immediately jump in the middle, you won't be able to absorb everything. You will not even embrace it. And the reason why we don't sustain it, sometimes we just learn now, the next year you're back to who you were again because you are not planning and identifying what is it for. You don't have a vision. You don't care about your legacy. Because here it's very important that we understand who you are and why you need to do it. Why do you need to learn leadership skills? Why do you need to be the to have a lot of industry experience? Why do we need to understand or to even apply customer service? So if this is identified, then you will make sure you learn this. So what about the how to sustain it is to be conscious that one day I want to be remembered as what? I'm doing this, I'm studying this, I'm teaching it because of what? Because that is one thing that will make you not quit, that will make you not give up. Because it's not really an overnight success, right? It's not an overnight success. Influential leadership is a model that can help you future proof yourself regardless if there's pandemic or not. And it's a simple model that I want to present to you. This is something that I believe in that helped me not give in. I give up, okay? I believe that faith is something that we decide to do and not something that I feel like doing. So this is the model of being influential. We need to inspire with yourself first. We need to even before we even attempt to inspire others with our looks, with our English, with our language, and everything that can be seen outside or can be heard. Make sure that you are inspired with yourself, right? Because everything determines the situation of your heart, the condition of your heart, the way you speak, everything will emanate. But if you are inspired with yourself, it will just naturally glow. It will emanate. You cannot fake happiness. We cannot fake your confidence. And we cannot even fake if you like the person or not, right? The truth is, you can only control yourself. It's only you who can future proof yourself. And this is the model. Understand your strengths. There are a lot of assessment online, like the Gallup Strength Finder, for you to somehow understand, that's the reason why I always wanted to learn and details, or that's the reason why I'm not aggressive, because this is my talent. Or for example, this is the reason why I like organizing things, because my talent is into operation and her talent is into entertainment. So I cannot compare myself. We need to understand our strengths so that we can now brand ourselves before others will brand you, and create a very clear and compelling vision, and now make a system. So that's it. Afterwards, that's the only time you go through trainings for the external, how to have executive presence, how to do proper presentation, and depending on your industry. And the legacy is actually just a result. There's no formula for your inspiring legacy. It is already the result of a correct system on how to develop your influential leadership. And what are the benefits? Why do we need to mind about our being influential the right way? Because it strengthens the impact and influence of your leadership. As a parent, as a teacher, as a CEO, as an advisor, as a politician, you can just imagine if everything you say and do creates a positive impact on your constituents and audience. It improves your relationship, the customer experience, and this too definitely increases productivity. And that's what we love, right? When we are productive, we now gain income. So it is not really what we do that determines who we are. It is who we are that determines what we do. Am I the right teacher to actually tell you about this? I really don't know, but maybe I'll just give you a very quick story because it's almost time, but I hope I'm able to share with you why I'm so passionate to even talk about this in not only in 3 or 15 or 20 countries. Why have been I going around? Because of this dream, right? I want to become a beauty queen and global speaker, but I did not achieve it the right way. I have unmet desires, and I want you to just maybe have a screenshot of this. Which one of these you did not achieve when you were younger? Is it the achievement side, the significance, the justice, the challenge, or is it the connection side, the worth, you are not being known, the joy, and so on? Because all these things are not unique to me. It's happening to every child. And if these are not met, we now cope. COPE, we cope. We create coping mechanism. And I've created my own coping mechanism. I was really a bad child before, and that's my way of coping. However, I kept them as a secret. So when I was younger, it was not really a good character. I have become dominant. I have become controlling. I tried to work on my own because I wanted to be rich. I thought being rich will cope with all the emptiness that I had when I was younger. So I made a lot of wrong choices that I'm not proud of when I was younger. And it's really not ideal for someone, for an age that I was 15 that time. Then when I got married, the choice was also because in our culture, we were not matched. Okay. I chose a client in the bank who's very rich just because of a very high ambition. I never cared about my purpose. I wanted to make sure other women will envy me. Imagine how bad my direction that time just to become famous. I wanted to be famous and I don't mind hurting people and even my family members because I want to recover from all those pains that I have experienced from my childhood and my family. So this was me when I was working, and it's a very old picture. That's around 1995 or 96. And I got married in that I think that was 1998. So I got married. I had two kids, and see, I don't care about my image. I have a lot of like a 7-Eleven convenience store and I was rich, but I never cared about my image. I don't mind if I'm irritating people. Here, they even told me I'm like wearing a tablecloth, but I don't mind. As long as I'm rich, as long as I get what I'm famous, I don't mind about my image. See? And when I was like the owner of the convenience store, I hated it when my employees are absent because I need to be on duty. So why am I showing you this? Here, the attire required was business formal and I'm just wearing jeans. I don't care. I don't have any respect to any protocols or to any dress code. But why share this? Because I thought it was normal. Because the way I was brought up is we don't care, right? We don't care for each other in the family, so we don't care for other people. And this was my mother, and she was very humble. She's very far from me, and I aspired not to be like her because at home she was beaten and she had a miserable life, and I made a vow not to be like her. And this was me when I attended in Singapore and London my image class, and I've been wearing all the wrong clothes, but actually those are very expensive clothes in our country. But now looking at it, it's really not about the brand. I now understand. It's really about my intention to become inspiring or not, and these are not just really the right clothes that time. I don't I'm not inspired with myself and I don't care inspiring others and I don't even care if I will leave an inspiring legacy because it's all about me. It was not actually influential. The truth is, I'm actually tired having a dual life. I'm tired. I'm tired controlling my life. I'm tired controlling people. I'm overscheduled. I'm actually feeling bad about all the wrong choices I did. I cannot spend even quality time with my family. I'm consumed. Even my weekends, I'm just on doing business. I was tied to my financial problem because I'm covering up. I don't want to show people that some of my business are losing, so I cover up. I don't have joy. I'm actually having a cluttered life and I was drifting in stuff. And the worst is I find myself when I'm idle, when I'm in silence, I realize everything was meaningless. This was me that was me, 2002. I realized that is the image of a troubled person. Someone who is fueled by money, someone who is manipulative, a gossiper, creates intrigues, no, not cooperative, always late, someone who seeks reputation, has high worldly ambition, a lot of anger, pride, unforgiving, bad attitude, use emotion to react, no manners, impulse, and of course, not inspiring with the self. And this is the person who has a lot of adulterous relationship. Why share this with you? Is it significant? Yes, because somehow part of you can relate to my life. Somehow part of you says you have this temporarily influential leader. Until I embrace the reality that I am not the God, that I have a God above me, and this is me now. I surrendered myself to Jesus, and that is just on my own story. How about you? Are you still controlling your life? This was our picture before, when everything is pretending to be happy family. Well, in fact, it's already a broken family. However, everyone decided to just honor God and surrender to Him what we cannot control. We forgave each other regardless if it's painful, because it's no longer us. We understood our identity. We understood all the distorted view, and this is my family. After forgiving each other, and I'm really thankful that I'm no longer fake now, that I'm living an empowered, authentic life. And we keep on sharing our story to everyone. This was our picture before my confession, and they always like telling me, he might kill you, but I'm just so happy that my husband chose to forgive me, not because I deserve it, but because we understood everything, the truth, and removed the distorted view in our life. And I have also forgiven my dad for whatever wrongdoings and pain he has caused me. And why share all this? Because I want you to be the right leader. Everyone, we are not perfect. We need to embrace that we are not perfect, but we can become an influential leader. So I'm going to ask you, are you the influential leader, or are you the fake, temporary influential leader? Because all we need to do is to make sure we intersect the right mindset, anchored to the right motivation, and duplicate yourself with the system, right? We have to be aware of who we really are, and we admit it. We don't keep it a secret, and we put into action everything that you are learning. So this is our awareness, what we need to admit, and of course, our action. This is actually a roadmap, a simple roadmap. Let me just show you the complete one. A simple roadmap wherein we need to understand the real you, the old you, your stories, your pains, because you will use that to help another person. We need to develop extraordinary confidence to understand your strength, create a vision, create your brand. Don't allow others to brand you, right? Have the right habits. Small habits creates a trajectory towards your being influential before you even learn the others that will affect your external image and so on. You see, my dream was to become a speaker and beauty queen. I may not have become the Miss Philippines, but at least at home, I am their beauty mom and beauty wife. And in just 4 years, since I confessed last 2016, actually, I'm not denying anyone. I'm not denying any of this. But God turned around everything His way. CNN identified me to be the most inspiring global speaker. So had I known that I will achieve this in a shorter time, I shouldn't have hurt people, right? But there's a reason for that, because otherwise I won't be able to tell you and inspire you about when you reach rock bottom or even lower than that, we can still become somebody. We can still become that influential leader, because it is not what we did that determines who you are as a leader. It is who you are already as a person that will determine what you will do after this talk. So it's a choice. Okay? Are you going to share what you learned today? Are you going to share everything, your talent, your value? And or are we going to believe in the faith that you are holding on to now? Okay, so we are here now in a crossroad. Either you got inspired with my talk, or maybe you're thinking about it, or it's just one of the few things that you have heard already. So it's up to you to either stop thinking about it, start thinking about it, or what do you need to continue thinking about it to become this influential leader with a success mindset. Because whatever you choose, or your choice now, will define who you are in the next months. And of course, I hope that you choose to become that influential leader. All right. So do you wish to get well? It's really up to you. But I believe everyone has a certain wound, and it's up to us to get well the right way or the wrong way. Okay, so in as much as I wanted to pray for you, we lack time time already, but just know that we need to ask help when we need to ask help. We do not tell everyone that you can do it because we were not designed to be alone. We are designed to help each other, to be in a relationship. And of course, we can help you. I have my own courses, which you can just visit my website. And I'm sorry if I'm so rushing this because I want to make sure we don't go over time. And I just want to remind you then these are one of my last slides that it is a journey to become an influential leader and it's not an overnight success. However, the question is, when do you start? When do you start developing, embracing, and creating those habits that will create a trajectory towards your becoming an influential leader? All right. And of course, if if you just want to follow me in all my social media, I have a lot actually, but I just put here 3. You can just follow me, and yes, please visit my blog. I have been brutally honest with all my writings because I have discovered the real truth about life. So thank you so much. But of course, before I go, I have a free ebook. I will just give it to Hemal, Mr. Hemal, or you can get a screenshot of this. We've written this last year during pandemic because it's actually a new era now. Everything is virtual, and I believe this can somehow also contribute or help you. All right. So thank you so much for inviting me, and it's an honor to speak with your school. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you also.
Yes, and giving us your valuable time, ma'am.
Thank you. So if you have some questions, I am also open to answer some questions.
No, ma'am, no questions from our side. Thank you,
All right.
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much.